Hi. Yes, contrary to popular belief, I can actually tie a tie. It's just the one that you've generally seen me using since the reboot is a little easier and it's red, whereas most of the ties I own are black, and I thought a little color, a little ambiance might kind of add to things a little bit better. Just in case just in case this has come up and people are pointing going, he's acting like he's got a real tie on. I'm not acting. It's just, it's very obvious that it was never real. So just getting that out of the way. I haven't checked my comment section, though I'm up to 32 comments last I checked. But right now, I've got to utilize my time to the best of my abilities. So this is more like a train just speeding along the tracks. God, this new shirt I picked out's really not quite liking this shirt, this jacket, excuse me. Anyways, sorry. I thought I had this all straightened out, but as you can see, not so much so. And excuse the mess. I'm really trying to reutilize my space. As you'll notice, the what do you call those? The metal shelves, the filing cabinets. Why can't I think of that tonight? Are gone. They're off to the corner there. I actually flipped a lot of furniture around, and it's allotting me a bit more space because I really got to I've got to really start getting a handle on my costume section because my props and costumes for my production show as well as my photography are just not in the best of states of organization, and I just looked at it and I couldn't look at it like that anymore, and I said screw that, I'm fixing this. So actually I guess this will just turn into a channel update to some degree. Due to the acoustics of this house and how thin these walls are, I mean I know where my volume is. And now it's not just the people I live with who are complaining about the noise. So I'm going to have to try to stay a little bit more low-key in some of my video works, although I am honestly pricing out noise-canceling foam because I'm just sick of hearing about it. Because I know it's not me. I can hear sometimes my parents and others in the house with their door closed, sometimes all the way across the hall as if I'm right there. They can't help that any more than I can help my situation here, but that shouldn't mean, especially since I'm running a fairly clean operation here as far as my channel and its content goes. Uh, I don't see the problem here. I'm not breaking any house rules or any of the things that I'm not supposed to be doing here. Maybe I'm getting angry and somehow in my projection of my voice, some of the stuff that I've been practicing because, again, I'm going to have to redo my public speaking course, which I'm sure some of you are not surprised by. And I really want to work on my presentation style to some degree because I don't know. I can do this fine. But you get me in front of a room full of people, and even though I've done plays and everything else, lately public speaking just, it gets to me, whether I liked it or not. And that sucks because I had less anxiety when I was having anxiety attacks, when I was on stage or when I was doing things of that nature, but trying to present something in a coherent fashion, I turn into a bundle of nerves. And I'd like to say it's stage fright, but I had that under control for many years. So I don't understand now why it's actually becoming impactful in my public speaking arena, because then it makes it hard for me to concentrate and be the kind of person that most of you know me as. Though I would love to kind of be that. Granted, public speaking doesn't usually lend itself to a barrier between you and people who might wish to do you harm, but frankly, I don't care about that. If a subject matters, if it's hurting everybody and has the potential even to hurt my enemies, I'm going to talk about it. whether people like me talking about it or not. But, you know, I don't know. I only have really two major videos on the schedule for shooting tonight, um, partially because of the noise ordinance, as it were, and partially because I am gearing up to do my vlogs. I promised them I've got a lot of good information for the things I want to present. It's figuring out the best way to surmise all of these talking points in a 6-minute video, in some cases, like my video that's going to be premiering on circumcision for the Sexual Futurist, and many others. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of basically the updates. Oh, I know what I need for visiting Canada. I do not know what I would need if I want to take up residency beyond the basics that I was told from Service Canada, which is a lot, and it has some interesting things to it. If you're going to Canada, especially if you're going for residency, for instance, at least in the case of the sponsor, but I would imagine to a major degree, as I'll probably find out when I finally get a hold of the Detroit Canadian border, which is the ones who handle residency questions and questionnaires, that you know, they really are not happy with the person sponsoring you cannot be have a violent offense on their criminal record, and I would imagine it would be same for the people who are going in, which I think is kind of smart. You might be like, hey, that's discrimination. Well, you know, it is and it isn't. I mean, they're still having problems with violence over there, which is something that a lot of anti or pro-gunners like to point out, but I don't think they're looking at this in quite the right fashion, as I've spoken of before. But I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting topic. I don't think ultimately it works, especially if you've got somebody who is unfortunately a problem person, but has connections in high places. You know, because remember, one of the suspects of who Jack the Ripper was is royalty. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll probably do a video project on it at some point. But one of the working theories, and it kind of holds up in some areas to scrutiny, is that there was an actual royal person going around filleting prostitutes for fun or pleasure or both. And so it's very reasonable that people, if this was a royal thing, people knew about it, and he had so many people who just could look the other way because this is royalty. And after all, let's face it, all he was doing was hurting prostitutes, and they're non-people in this society, which is going to be part of what I'm going to be talking about as part of a running theme for tonight's broadcasts. So, without further ado, let's get to our broadcasting night, shall we?